Good morning and welcome to Rivers of Grace Faith Community of the United Church of Canada. We are Zion United Church in Sandy Cove, Nova Scotia, and Grace United Church in Digby. My name's Alex Constable. This is my wife, Sharon Constable.
Good morning.
On guitar. And we're coming to you from our home on the beautiful shores of the Annapolis Basin in the ancestral lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Today is Sunday, June 7th, and it's Trinity Sunday. Just one announcement for you today. The building committee is hard at work. We met on Thursday evening outdoors, only 10 or so of us, with the architect, Harry Joust, who previewed for us his first draft of an addition plan. So more news on that in the coming weeks. Hope to get started soon. Thank you, Sharon, for lighting this candle for us to represent the presence of the Christ with us, the light of the world. May the peace of Christ be with all of you today. We begin worship with a song. It's short, so we'll sing it twice. This is by Robin Mark. It's called Not by Might. 1, 2.
Thank you, Chance, for those high harmonies.
Beautiful. You sang well too. Let's take a moment to pray together. Loving Creator, Parent of all, help us to live as family. May all our thoughts, feelings, and actions stem from a sense of spiritual kinship. Help us to love people, not as abstract humanity, but as living, breathing sisters and brothers with whom we share all things, plenty and poverty, liberty and service, hurt and healing. May our living bear witness to your compassion, and in the meeting of kindred spirits, let peace and justice embrace. Amen. We have 2 fairly short Bible readings for you today. The first is an excerpt from Psalm 85. O Eternal One, show us your unfailing love. Give us what we truly need, your salvation. I will hear what the true God, the Eternal, will say, for God will speak peace over his people, peace over those who faithfully follow him. Without a doubt, his salvation is near for those who revere him, so that he will be with us again, and his glory will fill the land. Unfailing love and truth have met on their way. Righteousness and peace have kissed one another. Truth will spring from the earth like a plant, and justice will look down from the sky. Yes, the Eternal will plant goodness in the earth, and our land will yield great abundance. Justice will come before him, marking out a path, setting a way for his feet. And one more, this is from the Good News according to Luke chapter 22, verses 24 to 27. A dispute also rose amongst the disciples as to which one of them was to be regarded as the greatest. But Jesus said to them, "The kings of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those in authority over them are called benefactors. But not so with you. Rather, the greatest among you must become like the youngest, and the leader like one who serves. For who is greater, the one who is at the table or the one who serves? Is it not the one at the table? For I am among you as one who serves." This is a very old traditional hymn melody put to modern words by Rob Johns in 1985. It's called "Jesus Christ is Waiting."
And it is in our Voices United hymnary, number 185.
One, two, three, four. I won't go on quite as long. You get the idea. I have to thank President Donald Trump for bringing theology into the central issue of the last 2 weeks, the struggle for racial justice. You may recall, maybe you didn't see the clip, the president gave a speech in the White House Rose Garden on June 1st. he spoke about defending the peaceful protesters from angry mobs. Moments later, troops were sent against the peaceful protesters with tear gas and rubber bullets. The park outside the White House was to be cleared for Trump's procession to the church for a Bible-holding photo opportunity, much longer than the one you just saw. Trump also added that he might send out the National Guard to dominate the streets. But a look inside that Bible could have told him domination of protest and the crushing of dissent was actually the way of Caesar, not of Christ. I am among you, Jesus said, as one who serves. Jesus was there, though, in Lafayette Park, with the priests and the medics who were supplying water and hand sanitizer and treating people for irritation from tear gas. Christ, the turner over of tables in the temple, was with the marchers, carrying the signs of the cross. Signs like, say his name, I can't breathe, Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace. Another two signs that I saw from protest in Toronto. The most violent element in society is ignorance. And I understand that I will never understand, but I stand with you. Christ was there in the past 10 days with George Floyd, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, and Dondre Campbell. Desmond Cole, a journalist and a black person writing for the Toronto Star back in 2015, described how he had been detained by police over 50 times in his young life, living and working in Kingston, Ontario, and in Toronto. Desmond, in his article, made this quotable quote, "At its heart, racism is the great lie that denies our common humanity. Sadly, God and faith have been used as a part of that denial of our common humanity." One popular view of God is as a singular, all-powerful force or personality. In this concept, God is about control, and even violent control if necessary. Many people in power in government positions tend to use God to justify their domination of others. Yet, within the Christian faith, there is a helpful way, or helpful for some people, of knowing God as a kinship, or family, or relationship. And that is God the Trinity. My first introductions to thinking about the Trinity, describing the Trinity, was as a series of diagrams of the Father, Son, and Spirit in a triangle connected by various lines that delineated their differing functions and who proceedeth from whom. Interesting, I suppose, for some, but a little obtuse, and not really helpful for my own experience of God. But there's more than one way of describing or encountering the Trinity. Think, for example, about this cup of coffee. 3 ingredients: ground beans, fresh hot water, and delicious cream. All one coffee, yet you can't separate one out of the other, and they're perfect together. Just so, these 3 ways of experiencing God, Father, Son, and Spirit, or Mother, Daughter, and Spirit, make up one God, but in relationship or kinship or family. Not so much a singular dominating force as a dance of creation, love, and peace. This flute, if I take it apart and analyze it, is, interesting. A bit of a mystery. What do these tubes all do? Not really clear. It isn't until they're seen as one and integrated as one that become the thing that we know as flute that makes music for our heart and soul. Thank you, Chance. So, God in summation, God the parent, creator of all this diversity of life, declaring all of it very good. God is creator and provider who loves us into being. God beyond and beneath us. And God has Christ, the child, our brother and sister, who calls us to join in faith, walks with us, shares our human frailty, and challenges unlove. God amongst us, with us. And finally, God the Spirit, our divine supporter, our heavenly cheerleader, who gives wisdom and comfort and inspiration. God within us. God is complicated, but really, really very simple. God is love, beyond us, amongst us, and within us, to share and to recreate the world. Amen.
Amen.
We featured a contemporary hymn writer last Sunday, and today we're going to share a song by Bruce Harding, who's of the United Church tradition and a fine contemporary hymn writer. This piece is called Spirit God Be Our Breath.
It comes from our More Voices hymn supplement number 150.
1, 2, 3, 4. Spirit God, be our breath, be our song, flow through us, bringing strength to move on. Our world seems inward, defensive, withdrawn. Spirit God, be our song. God, soothe our pride, calm our fear, comfort us when we know you are near. We grow more certain, our vision is clear. Spirit God, calm our fear. Loving God, be our voice, be our prayer, reaching out, joining hands as we share. We seek your guidance through friendship and care. Spirit God, be our prayer. Spirit God, be our breath, be our song, flow through us, bringing strength to move on, through change, through challenge, we'll breathe the new dawn. Spirit God, be our song. Spirit, open our ears to hear in you the cry of the oppressed. Spirit, open our hands to give with loving solidarity. Spirit, open our lips to speak truth to power and comfort to the powerless. Spirit, open our eyes to behold your image in all people. Spirit, open our hearts to live and love with the compassion of Christ, this day and forevermore. Amen.
Amen.